Hello, in this video I would like to talk about manual dexterity as it relates to cerebral palsy. Now, if you have cerebral palsy, there's a great chance that you have low manual dexterity, meaning your hands don't work very well. They may even hurt. Now, if you have spastic cerebral palsy, you may have excellent grip strength. I know in my case, from walking with canes for probably 26 years of my life, I developed great grip strength. Now, although this is impressive and a positive, I will not focus on that for the remainder of the video. Instead, I would like to focus on things such as handwriting and other fine motor skills that are tested in our daily activities. Now, for example, if we look at something as simple as putting on and buttoning a dress shirt, this is very difficult for me. I can do it, but it's very laborious and just generally very, very hard to do. Also, if we look at tying a shoe, I can do this as well, but it is very laborious. It's very difficult to bend down and manipulate my fingers in such a way as to get a proper knot. And even if I do end up tying my shoe, the knot usually comes undone because I haven't tied the shoe tightly enough. Now, the past two examples, although important, are not critical. You can get through life without tying your shoes the best or buttoning your shirt the best. But there is one skill that is very critical throughout your entire life, and that is handwriting. Now, if you have poor motor skills due to cerebral palsy, you will know that your handwriting is not great. It's probably very hard to read. In my case, for example, to write in print is very difficult. It is very hard to follow my handwriting in that way. However, I have found that writing in cursive, for whatever reason, is much easier for me. It's still laborious, but you can actually read my writing when I write in cursive. I think this has to do with the flowing nature of cursive. You don't have to stop your hand to write each letter. It's a continuous motion, which for some reason my brain prefers. Now, if we take it a step further, continuing with handwriting, and we look at mathematics, in my experience, mathematics was always very difficult for me. And I came to realize much later on in life that this is most likely due to my poor handwriting. In mathematics, you are writing long expressions in a logical chain. And usually, these logical chains are on more than one line. So, if your handwriting is such that it doesn't stay flat on one line, instead descends into lower lines, it is very hard for you to follow your mathematical expression, which ultimately makes higher level mathematics very hard. It's not impossible. You can do it. I did it, but I did not perform at what I believe is my highest potential. Now, all these examples are just there to show you that somebody with cerebral palsy has a very hard time. Now, I would like to talk about another example that is not as commonplace as buttoning a shirt, tying shoes, or handwriting. This example comes from my experience in general biology lab in college. Now, this experience is the fetal pig dissection. Now, this was meant to give freshman biology students their first experience with dissections. Now, for me, although it was a cool experience, it was very hard for me to perform a dissection with any great competence. My hands just did not work well enough to produce any product that served any educational value to me. This was unfortunate, but it's just the way that it worked. Meaning, at the end of the dissection, it was very difficult for me to distinguish any part of the fetal pig from one another. It was very difficult for me to distinguish the different muscles, tendons, or ligaments. Now, this previous example, although it's certain that doesn't apply to most people, is great in that it shows that somebody with CP can try to achieve something much more difficult than tying their shoes or even handwriting. This desire to achieve greater, although there are struggles with doing so, as I just outlined, is something positive. It is something that should be strived for. Even if you don't succeed, it is always worth the effort to jump higher and to try greater things.